You live in a program. You've lived in it your whole life, as have your parents and their parents. You were born into an invisible prison. The world as you know it is that program, and it exists everywhere you look. It is so big and so omnipresent it becomes invisible, and it escapes your perception. Even when you occasionally see it, you convince yourself it is not true. It looks at you in the mirror, it takes over your thoughts, and it hijacks your emotions. This program is a Trojan horse, a wireless malware you carry with you everywhere you go. It keeps you hostage, both physically and spiritually here, and some are so embedded in the program that they are one with it. They are the program. It is complicated, but it is real. The physical aspects of our life are mixed with the supernatural, and this is what makes the program so hard to comprehend. Consciously rejecting the understanding of its existence at this stage of human awareness is extremely ignorant and foolish, yet almost everyone still does it with every waking hour of their lives. If you don't know about the program, it's time you learned about its existence. It is slowly starting to fall apart, and it becomes more visible. The program has many names. Some call it the Matrix, some call it the Grid or the System. Although many books and movies have been made about it, to my knowledge, there hasn't been an accurate description of it. I've been researching it for more than 2 decades, and I've never found a comprehensive analysis of the program. I believe this is the first attempt to describe it. Although this program we're all in became somewhat of a sci-fi cliché ever since the release of the movie Matrix, it does really exist, and it is a genuine threat to our well-being and our survival. And that's why it is crucial to watch the entire video and share it with everyone you care about. Some can still be awakened and educated about the programming they're subject to. I spent a long time preparing for this upload, and I will tell you everything I discovered so that you can help others open their eyes to the world of deception. Before I show you what the program looks like, I will tell you what I know about its origin. The Matrix we are a part of today is believed to be about 100 to 150 years old, and it started with the last social reset that took place about 2 centuries ago. It is difficult to say who the architects are behind it, but they're definitely those who stay in the shadows. It could be the ones whose names we don't know, or the ones we're not allowed to criticize publicly. One thing is certain, they are not a part of this matrix, and we have no access to them. It is possible they're human like us, or that they're a different species. They might not even be physical. So what is this program? It is a system of lies, myths, limitation and manipulation mechanisms encompassing everything that humans engage in. It is an artificially composed life you're given here to keep you trapped in a fake world of misinformation, practices and traditions in which all of the human physical structure has its foundations. It is a tool of ultimate control and social engineering for those who want to own us. Anything related to knowledge, education, history, technology, religion, nutrition, medicine, law, politics, media, literally everything you consider to be a part of human life is in reality a programming mechanism designed to indoctrinate, distract, and control you. If you're not aware of the program, you don't realize that you live a life that is not yours on many levels. You were given a model of life by your parents, who were given their model of life by their parents, and so on up to a point in history where someone created this model artificially. It did not evolve organically. You subscribe to this reality without ever questioning its logic or its validity. The program was created to detach you from the divine and to introduce transhuman world so that new anti-human religion can be installed in this reality. This program doesn't respect your divinity, and it wants you to merge with silicon. Its goal is to drag you as far away from what you really are as possible. Its purpose is fight for power on the highest level, as the designers of this earthly program are envious of our Creator's work and His power, and they suffer from inferiority complex. That's why they are working on artificial intelligence and virtual reality, simultaneously trying to ruin our biological world. These dark forces want to destroy the human race. It is clear that they hate God and they hate us. The program wants to enslave you, and it wants to keep you in a lie of fake reality, to hide from you the truth about you, your history, and your divine purpose. What does the program look like? I'll describe a small part of it just to show you how it works, but keep in mind that it will be a tiny fraction of what it really is. Your first contact with the program takes place at the moment of you coming into this world. Your mother will give birth to you in pain, as this system will have her convinced that birth is a medical emergency and that it needs to happen in horizontal position. Humans are the only animals giving birth on their backs. That's your introduction into the matrix of lies. Immediately, you'll be given a serial number and a registration certificate so that the program can keep track of you and can profit off of you. From the first hour of your time here, you'll start being heavily medicated because the system will have your parents convinced that it is smarter than nature and that it needs to fix something that is already perfect. Throughout your life, the program will keep coming up with new made-up diseases and conditions that will require an ever-increasing number of chemical substances pumped into your body, eventually making you more and more sick and addicted. As you gain the ability to feed yourself, the program will convince everyone around you through deceptive advertising techniques to give you sugar, the most potent immune system suppressor available in human diet. And you will eagerly consume it and get addicted to it without realizing that the child's immune system is defenseless against this powerful poison pretending to be food. The program will offer your parents countless remedies for rapidly developing tooth decay, like chemically loaded toothpastes that will have no effect on the state of your teeth, since the damage will happen inside of your body, not on the surface of the tooth, like the so-called doctors will want them to believe. The system will continue its suggestive programming with the help of pseudo-traditional stories like that of Santa Claus, without you understanding that it was created by a corporation to make you drink a sugary brown liquid, acidity of which is closer to that of a car battery than water. Your growing up will be accompanied by a constant immersion in desensitizing violence in media and video games, as the program wants you to quickly lose respect for human life and empathy for others. Next, you'll be thrown into educational institutions modeled after the prison system that will masquerade as teaching facilities having only one real purpose: to train you in accepting of the program at this stage of your life when you're most likely to notice and question its presence. Through repeating and memorizing of completely false and nonsensical information, it will escape you that school's only purpose is teaching you obedience and blind acceptance of the matrix. You will learn about countless inventions by people who never existed, and you'll be taken to museums filled with fake fossils and borrowed technology. Even though every day you'll be walking past architecture that proves the very reason why the program exists, it will take care of your curiosity and it will distract you from the fact that in reality nothing was invented in 19th and 20th century and that all of our so-called progress is in reality transferred from the previous civilization. The system will also take care of you potentially noticing that current human civilization magically starts around mid-19th century and that almost nothing logical seems to be known about events prior to that date. As you enter puberty, the program will take care of distracting you by offering you addictive social media, legal and freely available adult entertainment, scripted sport events, all offered to you by selfish, soulless celebrities and authority figures. The program will demonize your understanding of psychedelics, the true gateway to the truth, by promoting prescription drugs and alcohol instead. All of this so that you grow your ego and believe in the completely fake hierarchical structure of human reality, hiding from you the truth about all of us being equal. This will be done by convincing you in your first stages of adult life that acquiring and accumulating money and material possessions is the goal of the human life. One of the main purposes of the program is to hold you captive while creating an illusion of your freedom by distracting you from the fact that for the next 45 years you'll be enslaved by a pointless artificial corporate entity and the government that will decide about your whole life. The program will divide your life into small compartments of work, consumption, entertainment, and sleep. You will have no time to notice that all of the important areas of our social lives, like health, security, and infrastructure, are neglected, which means that as society, we're not in control of them, and that an entity outside of our decision-making power is in charge. You will be surrounded by poverty and hunger, while corporations will waste 40% of all food they produce. And you will be witnessing rampant homelessness on a daily basis existing in cities with 40% of vacant properties. These unsafe and unhealthy cities the program wants you to live in will be the monuments to human subjugation to the system, representing dysfunctional, wasteful, and distorted nature of human conditioning. And as you get cramped into these toxic urban jungles, the program will make sure you get minimal access to the truth about your body and your health. You'll be told to sit in concrete structures wrapped in copper wires, transmitting dirty electricity, and you'll be bombarded by all types of wireless radiation. You'll be told to avoid healing effects of sun rays, while being advised to soak your skin with chemical creams, and you'll be told to eat synthetic vitamin D instead. The program doesn't want you to know that in order to stay healthy, you need hours of full body exposure to the sun. It will also lie to you about all other nutritional requirements, like convincing you that minuscule amounts of vitamin C can support your health, while the real dose to stay healthy is hundreds times higher than the fake recommended dietary allowance put in place to keep you sick and depressed. You'll be told to eat soy and drink tea and coffee, and once they start ruining your immune system, you'll be offered fake healthcare that will make your condition even worse. Chemicals and poisons will help the program to keep you blind to the truth. These poisons will be pretending to have medicinal properties, and combined with fake spirituality that will keep you inactive and passively obedient. The program will do everything it can to make sure you don't know how to take care of yourself. And as you reach the end of your productivity stage, the program will dispose of you, denying you access to the most basic means of survival, as you will become useless to its functioning. And this is just a short description of what the system looks like in action. The program is anti-human, anti-biology, and alien in nature. It wants you to accept killing and destruction as natural elements of life, and it wants you to be ashamed of everything human and organically beautiful, like acts of love, nakedness, and sexual pleasures. It doesn't understand humans, and it constantly tries to make humans into something they're not, and never will be. But the program knows about you more than you know about yourself, and it is always 3 steps ahead of you. It exploits and makes use out of the worst elements of human nature, like greed, ignorance, laziness, and so on. Since the program is powered by the forces of evil, it tries to keep you in constant state of fear, confusion, and chaos. Truth is not important in the world it generates. It's what people can be made to believe that counts. Believability is the key, not logic and not the truth. In the world manufactured for you by the Matrix, you're allowed to be illogical, nonsensical, or psychotic, and still be a functioning element of society. The program doesn't want you to notice that being perfectly adjusted to operating in that impaired collective is a clear sign of mental disturbance. Because the program is so primitive and non-human, it constantly makes mistakes and adjusts to its failures and erroneous results, creating permanent disorder and turmoil. Changes and modifications are slow and subtle, but regular. Modification is visible from time's perspective, and all lies sooner or later become visible. That's why distraction is the foundation of the functioning of the Matrix. It wants you engaged in meaningless ideology and wants you occupied with counterproductive trivia. If you stop being distracted, you will notice that you are being programmed, and those who see it and understand it are ridiculed and labeled as crazy. The program is all about division and fracturing of any ideological cohesion. The system is all about conflict, internal, external, worldwide. It wants you to hate yourself and others. It creates dedicated program believers who in turn become the enemy of the awakened ones. There are millions of traitors and lost humans working for the program, and the creation process of them is sustained by blackmail and corruption. That's why when you think you're building a resistance movement, the program will use planted opposition to hijack your efforts. The Matrix wants to be something it's not, building a replica of the world that requires your participation and acceptance, and that's why it wants you inactive, spending your life in only one possible way: looking at a plastic screen. It wants you to feel lost in a seemingly pointless existence, and it wants to rob you of your colorful spiritual life here. It wants you to silently serve and then self-destruct. That's why the understanding of the existence of these programs is not a matter of entertaining oneself with some supernatural theories. It is possible that the knowledge about the existence of the multi-level matrix can not only help you with the hardships of this physical existence, but it can also free your eternal soul from an endless cycle of coming back here. The gravity of this knowledge goes beyond the earthly life. That's how important it is. It is possible that understanding of the physical program can save your life, both the earthly one and the eternal metaphysical existence. If you're paying attention, you might have noticed that I've just used the phrase multi-level matrix. And this is why I said at the beginning of this video that the program is much more complicated than you think. Because it is not just a matter of one program, but possibly 3 or even 4. You see, the earthly system I dedicated so much time to describe here is only the first layer of the programmed existence you're a part of. The secondary program that you're unwillingly subject to is the mental one, and it is involuntarily and automatically created in your psyche as the result of the earthly matrix. It is a self-imposed belief system and thinking patterns created as a result of constant external conditioning. It is about programming of psychological limitations and illusions, shaping the functioning of your brain. It is a program within a program made of insecurity, doubt, prejudices, and fear that keep you limited in your ability to discover the inner and outer world. But the third and potentially the most important matrix is the metaphysical one, the one you have been a part of for countless number of existences in this physical reality. If you've been watching this channel for some time, you know how long time ago we came to a conclusion that your true form is not physical. The existence of other energy form beings around us, like spirits, ghosts, and psychedelic machine elves, and the fact that we continuously reincarnate into different earthly bodies, proves that we are voluntarily or not a part of a closed matrix that keeps us in this realm. If you wish to learn more about this, watch a video I uploaded some time ago called Soul Trap that could offer some explanation as to the nature of this third layer of matrix. It is possible that the earthly, physical, and mental programs are an extension or a part of the soul recycling matrix, or they might exist independently of each other. Nevertheless, whether willingly or not, it is clear that you're subject to programming on 3 different levels. Which brings us to the last layer of the matrix that we might be a part of, the divine. It seems that the earthly matrix was allowed to exist by the Creator out of love to you. The program is here because you're incredibly important. A loving God cares about you so much that it created an incredibly complex training system to put you in an environment that will allow you to become like the Creator, and eventually it will allow you to gain the ability to find an exit out of these programs. If you can defeat and escape the dense, low-vibration matrix, there is nothing that can stop you from your transcendental progression. You become powerful and unstoppable. The layers of matrix are the door to going back to the loving source. After watching this video, you might feel overwhelmed by the complexity of these physical and metaphysical structures, but all that truly matters is that you reject the control attempts by the earthly matrix, and once you leave this body, you decide to return home, liberating yourself from the metaphysical matrix should it turn out to be an artificial prison. We don't know what the nature of our existence truly is, but this video could be the last important information you will need to remember once you exit this realm. No more confusion, no more questions. After repeatedly looking for answers in different incarnations, you might have finally reached a stage in your journey where you understand your position and where you have the courage and the open-mindedness to accept the existence of the energy, the source, the Creator, God. And this is what brings us all the way back to the earthly physical matrix and its weaknesses, as the methods to defeat the physical programming are the same that will let you escape the metaphysical matrix. The program is primitive and based on lies and deception. It needs huge amounts of external energy and constant control And that's why it is temporary in nature. Matrix has an expiry date built in it. It is extremely fragile and weak, and it is defenseless against your free will and your resistance. It exists only because it relies on you acknowledging and accepting its presence. It needs your permission, active participation, and compliance to sustain its fictions. Awareness is a deadly threat to this system. It cannot run with everyone being conscious of its existence and its methods of operating, and that's why it is crucial that you share this video with as many people as possible. It is of utmost importance that you help them to see and reject the programming. The Matrix is disabled by psychedelics. They are its kryptonite, and they allow you to see the code of the program, which lets you open yourself up to metaphysical knowledge, that in turn will liberate you from the role of a prisoner of repeated reincarnation. The psychedelics will reconnect you with your supernatural powers like manifestation and telepathy that were hijacked by the program. Your internal harmony and integrity combined with everyone uniting against a common enemy are a grave danger to the program's control mechanisms. It cannot withstand your awakening to the immense powers each of us has, and all it takes is for us to take back control over our actions through simple disobedience and resistance to the primitive trickery our lives are forced to be based on. The Matrix is arrogant and ignorant, and it will cease to exist once people become good and moral again, and once they re-establish contact with the Creator, who cares for us and wants us to succeed in our struggles in the fight against the darkness. I wish you all the energy you need to break this vicious cycle of programming by the system, and I keep my fingers crossed for you to complete your training in this reality and to return to wherever you came from. Be full of love and joy and have hope. I wish you a safe journey home. Thank you for watching. This channel needs your financial support to reach as many people as possible with the message, so if you enjoyed watching this video, have a look at the full list of methods to support my work. You can schedule a donation-funded chat by sending a message. Subscribe and follow. Like and share this video. For merchandise, go to shop.b434.com. Leave your email address at news.b434.com. Visit the website of the musician I featured here. For more info or contact, visit b434.com. and join 434's social media on YouTube, Facebook, BitChute, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and VK. Talk to each other on Reddit, Discord, and Telegram. All links in the video description.